twist out I'll pray for her. You can't just burp out, she's in my prayer. You can't say anything. I want you to listen, Jim, to Kim Mulkey and this ignorant, trifling response. And then after we hear her words or non-words, you take it from there. Here's Kim Mulkey.
Kim, two questions for you. First, how would you, with the combination of transfers and incoming freshmen, how would you describe that process of putting that collective group together? And then two, I just wanted to get your thoughts on Brittney Griner's situation. And I don't think I've seen anything from you on that. And just can you
and you won't. I'll answer the first one for you.
Wow. Every time I hear that, I get more angry. The way she just dismisses Brittney as a human being. Forget all the beef or the controversy the two of them may have had about Brittney's time at Baylor. She's a human being. And Kim just completely dismisses her in that way. And look, I know Kim Mulkey has, as I've read and as has been reported, has conservative views on everything from homosexuality to the way people conduct themselves in their lives and whatnot. But Brittney is a human being. And like you said, you couldn't at least said, I'm praying for her, or I want the best for her. And what it does to me, Michael, it really does, it says to me that some of these coaches at the highest level still do not view players as human beings. They view them as transactional parts to help them get from point A to point B, in Kim Mulkey's case, to get to a national championship. It was funny, I was doing some research on this, and when I saw Brittney, her comment in her autobiography, where she talked about having to live a closeted life at Baylor, even though she told Kim Mulkey when she was being recruited, Brittney said, I'm gay, and Kim basically said, doesn't matter. Brittney comes to Baylor and then finds out that it's sort of a don't ask, don't tell policy. Right. And you keep that stuff private and in-house. And so Brittney said, you know, her quote in her autobiography was, I would love to be an ambassador for Baylor to show my school pride, but it's hard to do that. I've spent too much of my life being made to feel like there's something wrong with me. And no matter how much support I felt as a basketball player at Baylor, it still doesn't erase the pain that I felt. And it was that pain as a human being. So, look, I have two daughters, one of whom played D1 athletics. And I can tell you this as a parent, me personally, never would allow my daughter, either of them, to go play for someone like Kim Mulkey. I just wouldn't. I would hope that whoever my daughters would play for would view them as human beings and not just as disposable parts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you added that at the end, Jim, because I saw some tweets from WNBA players, Baylor grads, who played they didn't play with Brittney Griner. They played after at Baylor, but played for Mulkey before she left Baylor for LSU. And they said, hey, keep this in mind. Those recruits out there, keep this in mind when you're looking at schools. Just see how this is going down. See how a coach who says all these sweet things to you when they want to get you to sign and get you on campus, get you to Waco. Oh, we'll say all sorts of wonderful things. But if you do anything that goes against what she thinks should be done, not only does she not support you, she got nothing to say. She has nothing. She won't even acknowledge you. And look, I respect all views. Okay, if you're going to have this conservative viewpoint, liberal viewpoint, whatever you're going to be, just try your best to be it without being a hypocrite. Try your best to be it without being a fraud. You're a fraud, Kim Mulkey, because, you're against it. Oh, it goes against everything that you stand for. But she told you. Okay, why'd you recruit her then? Why'd you say, okay, if you feel that strongly about it, just say, well, I'm not going to stand for that at Baylor, and I'm not going to have that. No. You don't feel that strongly about it, do you?
No, not at all. Here's the other thing, Michael. So Kim Mulkey goes to LSU, where she gets an 8-year contract, which is unprecedented for the university. Yep. And it's a contract for almost $24 million. highest paid coach at the university outside of the football coach. She did not get that simply because she is a good coach. She got that on the backs of the players who went out on the court and performed for her. So at the very least, she should think about the position that she's in, those who helped her get there. And Brittney Griner was instrumental in Kim Mulkey getting to where she is today in terms of the success that she's had, the 3 national championships. I know Brittney won one with her, the 2 Final Four appearances Brittney had. So for me, that's a problem. The other thing is I watched that clip. I can't help but notice the Coca-Cola bottle there and the farmer's thing in the backdrop. And I'm saying, if you own one of those companies, is this who you want to be aligned with? Because I don't.
40-0. Not only the back, there it is right there. Okay, you got your advertising right there. Farm Bureau Insurance, and got Coca-Cola. And just look look on her face. Just, she enjoyed it. She enjoyed snapping that one off. And
Absolutely.
You won't. I'll answer the other question. I'll answer the question about transfers, but I won't ask a question. There you go. There it is. I won't ask a question about a 40-0 record, a player who led us to a 40-0 record, a player who was the #1 overall pick in the WNBA draft, which, not only good for Brittney Griner being the top pick in the draft, but where did she go? She went to Baylor. So if you're on the recruiting trail, and this is what they all do, whether it's women's basketball, men's basketball, college football, whatever it is, they come in with the portfolio. They come in, check this out. I know, you heard of this player? You heard that player? Yeah, I coached him. And I could do that for you too. This is a place where you can come not only get your education, this is a place you can come become a national champion. You want to play professionally? I've coached professional players. Part of her contract, part of her reputation is built on Brittney Griner. And I just say, I'm really annoyed just with people like Kim Mulkey and people like Kim Mulkey who kind of make up a philosophy. Because I would say, saying I have conservative views in behaving that way is kind of an insult to conservatism. So conservatism is, so you mean to tell me this is what conservatism is? Is this what it is? If you don't agree with me, I will not acknowledge your humanity, and I'll pretty much be an a-hole. I will be an a-hole in the name of the gospel, ironically. I'm so strong in my faith that if you don't agree with what I'm saying, I will shut you out because you're not like me. What kind of philosophy is that? What faith is that? Just tell me where I can find that in your gospel, and then I'll agree with you. If you can point it out to me, I think there are 66 books in the religion that you follow, in the Bible, the faith that you follow. And one of those 66 books, where is that? Genesis? Matthew? Where is it? Show me that kind of philosophy, and then I'll agree with you.
I shouldn't be laughing because it's so serious. Every time I see that clip, I get a little more angry just at how you could dismiss a human being like that. I mean, she was just so dismissive. And as you say, it was like she wanted you to ask her that question so that she could dismiss it in the manner that she did. It's so infuriating. And again, if I'm a parent, there is no way I'm sending my daughter to play for Kim Mulkey. There is simply no chance of that happening. I just, the intolerance that she displayed, the lack of humanity, I can't even put it into words. It makes me so angry, man.
And the last thing we'll say on this before we dismiss her and take a break, so to kind of fumigate the room and then come back to something good. But the last thing I'll say about it is nobody's asking her. I want to be clear on this. Nobody's asking her to agree. You don't have to campaign for Brittney Griner. You could disagree with everything that happens. You could be against her. You can say, well, I don't know. Something was going on. They detained her for a reason. Or if she hadn't been doing that, if she didn't have that in her luggage, whatever it is, you can feel that way. But all you've got to do is just be a supporter, a friend, a kind word or two will get the job done. Maybe it doesn't move the needle. Who knows? Maybe it does. We'll never know, because all Kim Mulkey wanted to talk about was transfers. She wanted to talk about transfers.
But I'm interested in hearing also how other fellow coaches are going to respond to this or react to this, because we know, like, Dawn Staley is ready to take a group over there and go get Brittney Griner out of Russia on her own. I mean, that's how strongly she feels about it.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering how these other coaches, particularly at the elite level, feel about the way that Kim Mulkey acted in this situation, and what that discussion is like among those coaches throughout the upcoming season and whatnot, because it is so much bigger than basketball and so much bigger than Kim Mulkey that if you had told me she said this or reacted in this way without me actually seeing the clip, I would have said, no, she didn't. I just wouldn't have believed you, you know?
Exactly. You know, what you'd say, what all journalists say in these situations. I need to know the context. You know, give me the context. Yeah, you must be leaving something out. No, we didn't leave anything out. No. That's the way it is. But Kim Mulkey, I hope you don't find yourself in a tough situation where your players have to say something nice about you, say something nice, or some of your colleagues have to say a nice word for you. I hope you're not in that situation where they just kind of go silent. Silence is the worst. She chose the worst response for a player who helped get her to where she is right now, all smug with her insurance, advertising in the background, and her Coke. She didn't even have a Coke and a smile. She had a Coke and a frown. She had a Coke and a sneer. Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.